grade 10s. Today, Nonina and MacGyver will be competing against each other in an imaginary game show. They are asked to present opposing views using the same sets of statistics. This should be interesting to watch.
Let me introduce you to our two contestants, Nonina.
Oh, hi.
And MacGyver.
Hi there.
Let's get on with the show. Nonina and MacGyver, our topic for the show is unemployment statistics in South Africa. To begin with, I will give both of you the same statistics. After that, you will each be given a task to perform using those statistics. We will compare your work and see how successful you were. Before I hand out the tasks, I want to provide the background to the statistics that we will be using today in our competition. The country, South Africa. The time, 1993 to 2004. The topic, unemployment in South Africa. This table shows the unemployment rate for South Africa between 1993 and 2004. You will see that they show the number of people who are unemployed and who want to work as a percentage of the population. Since these statistics were produced by an independent organization, we are going to assume that the collection of data was not biased. Right, contestants, we are about to begin. First, Nonina, your task is to do a presentation to convince the public that the unemployment situation is improving. MacGyver, you must do a presentation to convince people that the government is not doing enough to solve the problem of unemployment. In fact, I want you to show us that unemployment is getting worse. The rules are that you can only use the statistics recorded in the table. For the first round, you must produce a graph that supports your point of view. Ready? Go. Okay, time is up. Let's look at what our contestants have managed to achieve. First up will be MacGyver. Now, MacGyver, I want you to show us your graph, and then I want you to explain what you did and why you did it.
Okay, well, as you know, I am saying the government is not doing much about unemployment, and the situation is getting worse. Alright, so I decided to pretend I was a member of a political party who wants to get votes by making the graph paint the worst picture ever.
Okay, why don't you explain to us what you are intending to say with your graph?
Well, as you can see, the graph shows clearly that unemployment is increasing over time. I mean, take a look at how the rate goes from 31.2% in 1994 to an incredible 41.8% in 2002. And the trend line is in red because we should all see this is a dangerous situation.
I see that your arrow seems to imply that there will be an even greater rate of unemployment in the future. Well done. You have certainly presented a creative argument showing that this is a crisis situation. Nonina, can you tell us what techniques you think MacGyver's used to try and convince us of his point of view?
I think that the graph is really misusing data. Just look at the vertical axis. MacGyver only started on 30%, and there is no 0% mark on the graph.
Why is that so important?
It is important because it makes the graph misleading. It makes the increase seem exaggerated. Also, the first block is shown as very small. That makes it seem like the unemployment rate was very low to start with. And now, the unemployment rate is high.
Ah, so you're saying that 30% in 1993 is actually a high rate of unemployment, and this graph makes it seem to be very low.
Exactly, I rest my case.
If I were you, I wouldn't rest just yet. I can see something else. There's something missing on this graph. Take another look at the table. Can you see what's missing from the graph? Let me show you what I mean. I counted the number of columns and there's one too few. MacGyver's left off the last result for 2004. Compare the table with the graph. As you can see, the last result does not appear on his graph. Nonina, do you think that it was just a mistake?
No way. MacGyver knows his statistics. I think he did it on purpose. Look at the red arrow. It makes you think the rate is going to carry on increasing. But if you look at the table, the rate of unemployment actually comes down from 41.8% in 2002 to 41.0% in 2004.
So you're saying that the last column was not shown on the graph because it didn't fit with what MacGyver wanted to say?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
You're absolutely right. MacGyver has tried to mislead you. He showed only the part of the data that helped him achieve his goal. MacGyver has done a good job with his graph. Luckily, we have become very critical of statistics, so we picked it up. Now it's time to hear Nonina present her case. Nonina, are you ready?
Yes, all right. I'm going to show that the unemployment situation is under control. If you look at my graph, you will see what I mean.
Tell us what is going on here.
As you can see, the flat slope of the graph shows that the government has got the unemployment rate under control. My graph shows that the unemployment rates peaked in 2002 and now they are decreasing.
I thought you might say that, but let's see what MacGyver has to say about that. MacGyver?
Well, firstly, I think the graph does not show that the government has unemployment under control.
So you are disagreeing with what Nonina has said?
Totally. It is not enough information to support what she's claiming.
Well, I can see that Nonina has deliberately selected only part of the information so that she could make a stronger case for her argument. But she hasn't really convinced you, has she, MacGyver?
No, not at all.
Nonina, what is the intention behind your graph?
Well, the figures are pretty serious against me. Unemployment is high and it's very difficult to show anything positive. I decided I would try to convince people that even though the situation is not good, at least there's some hope. I didn't want to use the previous year's data because that makes the situation look too serious.
I agree. I think you did well to find something positive about a very challenging problem. You both showed that you understood what it means to misinterpret data, and you both noticed what was misleading about each other's graph. Now we move on to the second part of the show. In this part, I'm going to give each contestant a statement. Each contestant must analyze it and tell me who they think said it and why. Are you both ready? Good. Here's your statement. 30,000 jobs created every month in South Africa. Okay, Nonina, here's your statement. 8 million unemployed in South Africa. Now, your job is to go and read some newspapers and magazines or use the internet to look for information that will help you answer the following 3 questions. 1. Who do you think did the study and what were their reasons for doing the study? And 2. Describe how reliable you think the statistical statements are. The last question is different for each of you. MacGyver, why is your statement not as positive as it seems? And Nonina, why is your statement not as negative as it seems? That's all the questions. Did you get them all? How did it go?
It was hard work, but I think I'm ready.
Yes, it was, but I think I'm ready too.
Okay, Nonina, it's your turn to go first. Your statement was 8 million unemployed in South Africa. First, I want to know who might have an interest in publishing such a headline.
Well, when I checked, I found that there are about 45 million people in South Africa. Of those 45 million people, about 20 million people are in the working age category. So, if the 40% unemployment statistic that I found is used, I worked out that it comes to about 8 million people who are unemployed. I think that the fact that there are 8 million unemployed people could be true. This statement could be used by political parties and TV programs that investigate politically sensitive issues.
Do you think that the statement is reliable?
Actually, I did find one thing that is important. The table of data that we studied earlier has another column of figures, where they have recorded unemployed people who actively look for work. If you take these figures into account, then maybe the unemployment rate is not as high as the statement suggests. This is actually a different definition of unemployment, which makes a huge difference in the data.
I think you're right. That definitely affects the reliability of the statement. It implies that not all of those who don't have work are actually actively seeking employment. Well done, Nonina. Now what about you, MacGyver? MacGyver, Your statement was 30,000 new jobs created every month in South Africa.
Well, it's hard to say anything negative about the statement, and I'm trying to find out the source of the statement. Well, I'm thinking it's coming from Parliament, maybe Minister of Finance, or it's coming through from a business optimistic magazine.
Did you find anything that could change our perspective?
Well, just one thing. When I did my calculations, I found out that the reality in South Africa is very serious. If 8 million people are unemployed, and if 30,000 jobs are created every month, then that is 360,000 jobs per year, right? If the number of unemployed people doesn't increase, then it will take exactly 23 years to fix the problem of unemployment completely.
So, although this statement is very good news, you are saying it's not as amazing as it sounds. Well done, MacGyver. I think you and Nonina have both handled this assignment very well. Earlier, I pointed out that unemployment figures are given as a rate, which is the number of people who are unemployed as a percentage of the population.
Working with statistics can be a lot of fun, and I hope that you have seen some of that fun today. Statistics provide a fantastic marketing tool that is used every day in the media and in politics. But take care, misrepresenting data can be seen as dishonest. Thank you for joining us, Grade 10s. Remember to look at the task for this section in the Data Handling Task video. You will also be able to learn more about data handling on our website, www.mindset.co.za/learn. Goodbye.